everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Korok Seed Master Mode Challenge. We've got 20 seeds to get into today, and some of them are among the most difficult in the game, so let's jump in without any further ado and delay. And take a moment to check and see if you're subscribed to the channel, and if you're not, please do, as I bring you content on a daily basis. And yeah, feel free to drop a like on the video as well if you found it useful. Now the first seed that we're looking at today is seed number 221 in our overall run, and it is a flower puzzle. And this is going to be made a lot easier if you actually knock out the Lizalfos from these floating pads over here, because, well, they're armed with shock arrows, and that's not a fun time for anyone involved, especially because we're swimming around in a river. But you just start on one pillar on one side of the river, and then snake your way across some rocks to the other side, and pick up the Korok seed from the final white flower atop this other pillar here. So all things considered, it's pretty easy to get as long as you take the enemies out before attempting to actually collect the seed here. Seed number 222 is another seed similar to one that we saw in last week's video, where we need to pick up 2 durians off of this tree, and you need to pick them up so they match the other 2. In this case, it's going to be this durian here on this side of our tree, and then the other durian here off to the right that we'll want to pick off of the branch here. And as soon as we do grab that durian, we'll be able to collect the seed from this spot. You do need to be careful though, because in this jungle area it rains frequently, if not constantly. So make sure that you don't have any metal equipment equipped to you, or that's really going to set you back. Now, seed number 223 is another one of these Korok puzzle seeds, and the rock that you need is in a circle on the other side of this little plateau area, so you'll want to grab it from the center there, and then walk it all the way over to the adjoining circle and drop it in the little space here in the pattern. And that will grant you the seed from this spot, which, all things considered, is pretty simple, but one that we need to collect nonetheless. Seed number 224 is another Korok seed puzzle. This is on the path up towards the heart spring, and you just need to drop this rock in the space to complete the little heart shape there on the ground. So a nice little consistency between the spacing here. Nothing to complain about. And seed number 225 is on the peak of the mountain above the rock spring, so you'll want, or the heart spring, so you'll want to go ahead and grab the seed from here. And this is the first seed that we're seeing in this video, where we've got to try and cover up the guy, and that didn't go very well as the rock goes rolling off the edge, so hopefully there's no levers making their way up to the spring. Seed number 226 is a rock seed puzzle that we haven't seen one quite like this, where multiple seeds are required, but there is a large circle in the middle and smaller circles on the outside that you'll want to go ahead and track down. And the spots are pretty easy to place. You've just got to walk around and actually track down the rocks that you need, and they do line up decently well with the spaces in the overall puzzle. So if you're having some difficulty locating them, you can use your stasis rune, as that will highlight the rock in question, or you can also, just kind of follow out away from the circle in the area where the space is located, and you'll be able to track those down pretty well. Now, seed number 227 is hidden away pretty well, and it's actually up in this tree with the coconuts, and there's a little apple in the center there that you'll just want to knock out. Now, despite having hit the apple, I didn't actually knock it out of its little resting spot, but with that second hit, we were able to knock it around and grab the seed. So it takes some precision. You might have to take a try or two, but removing the apple is all you need there. Now, seed number 228 is a little bit different, as it's atop one of the little shops in town, and you will want to climb your way up the tree and grab the flowers that sprout off of different portions of it. And this would be a lot easier to do if it weren't raining, but I was impatient and didn't want to sit around and wait for the rain to stop. So we did go ahead and move forward with trying to get that. And I was confused a little bit here, because the flower moves off of the first tree onto a second tree and then down onto the roof of this shop. But with some scanning visually, you'll be able to locate where that last flower is and get the seed from here pretty easy. Now, seed number 229 is another flower puzzle. This one doesn't involve any climbing, thankfully. It just involves a little bit of running around in a little bit of a wide arc pattern. And after finding the different seed or the different flowers, you'll be led over to the beachfront area where the last flower is waiting for you, and you can go ahead and grab the seed from there. These flower puzzles are overall pretty easy. It just depends on where they're located as to the scale of how difficult they actually are. And this one is on the easier side, to be sure. Now, seed number 230 is a little seaweed puzzle that you'll just need to jump right into the center of the ring from. There are a couple of chests with some nice little trinkets that you may want to fish up to replenish your gear or gain some extra stuff. And seed number 231 is a puzzle very similar, if not identical, just on the opposite side of the little peninsula here that snakes out. So the jump's a little higher as well, but same idea. Jump in the middle of the seaweed and you'll grab the rock from this spot. Now, seed number 232 is under a palm tree, or it's a rock under a palm tree at the end of this big sweeping sandbar beach peninsula. And as soon as you pick up the rock off the ground there, it's easy as any of the other rock hiding Koroks that you'll locate on your journey. So dropping this back down on top of his head to provide him some cover from those keys, and then we've just got to run away to kind of preserve ourselves, as they're not enemies that we want to mess with. Now, seed number 233 is probably one of the hardest seeds in the game, based off the fact that the Korok puzzle you're looking to complete is up on top of this little ship here. But I found that the easiest way to go ahead and get this is use 2 Octorok balloons to bump the rock up to its area, and then shooting it with 1 arrow and throwing a spear at it bumps it up onto the ledge after you go ahead and lock it in place with some stasis. And throwing the spear will actually knock the balloons off it, as they probably will not have expired just yet. And then you can climb up to the top and drop the rock into its actual location. And that's far easier than a lot of the other trick shots that you might want to try and do, or that may have been suggested. Seed number 234 is underneath this little pile of leaves, and you'll want to light it on fire, but I missed with my first shot, so we'll want to go ahead and double back with another one here. Now, the fire arrow is a easy way to do that. You can also accomplish it with some flint and steel, fire aspect weapons, other things. It was just what was at my disposal, the easiest, so we just used it as convenience sake. And of course the sun's beating down, so we want to try and protect that guy from the sun a little bit here. Now, seed number 235 is a little bit of a difficult seed to see during the day, because it's a fairy light that runs around on this rock formation, and the fairy lights, you've really got to look for them. And so I missed it on the first pass that it snuck right by me, and had to get a better vantage point to see where it was running around. Again, you're not going to have nearly as many problems if you try tracking that one down at night. Seed number 236 is down on a ledge here. It's another Korok puzzle that you'll just want to walk this rock from the one little plateau area over to the other. It's not that difficult of a walk, though. You'll just need to be particular with it as you walk your way over. And the little notch or the space is here on the side closest to where you pick the rock up. So dropping that into place will grant you the seed from this spot. Now, seed number 237 is a seed that's down on a ledge here. It's a rock that you'll need to pick up down off of this ledge. And it was raining on my way down, so that made it a little bit easier in terms of getting down, as the ledge does slope back a little bit. And I missed it the first time I wanted to glide down, but as soon as you're on the same level, you'll pick up that rock and promptly drop it back on this guy's head. And even though you didn't really see it, I promise that it did happen. Seed number 238 is a seed down in a lily pad circle, but I wanted to showcase my ride down, as I'm really kind of proud of how this was executed. Not particularly the shield glide per se, But right here as we pop out of the shield glide, I really like this mechanic of canceling your fall last second with your glider right before you hit the ground. It's really cool, and I've gotten quite good at that, so I'm very proud at that technique. But yeah, jumping into the lily pad circle will get you the seed from this spot very easily. Now, seed number 239 is a puzzle that I had never seen before. And by that, it's a magnesis puzzle, which isn't that difficult, but the nuance with this one is the two magnesis rocks that you're working with are chained together. So you move one, the other one's going to get stuck, and this is really the first one that I've seen where you need to combine two of your different runes by stasising the one rock together and then using magnesis on the other as you move it into the correct place on top of that stone. So very, very fun puzzle there. I quite enjoyed the differing challenge to some of the other ones that we've seen of that caliber. And the final seed of today's episode, seed number 240, is another fairy light puzzle. This fairy light just kind of dances around this puddle and this log that's here, but as soon as you track him down, you will be rewarded for your efforts. And that is all we have time for today. So thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to drop a like on the video. And again, subscribe if you haven't, as I bring content to you on a daily basis. So thanks again for watching, and you have yourself a fantastic rest of your day.